Around this time of year, it's no surprise many of us take time out to ask, remember when? That's certainly the case for Barry Peterson, who now reports our Sunday morning cover story.
Nostalgia. It's delicate, but potent.
In the television series Mad Men, advertising executive Don Draper knows all about the power of nostalgia.
It takes us to a place where we ache to go again.
Don Draper is TV make-believe, but his use of nostalgia to sell a product is as on target as it gets, says real-life advertising executive George Dewey of McCann Erickson.
It's kind of shorthand to connect with people and instantly establish a rapport, because that's really all we're trying to do, is to let people know that we understand you and that our product fulfills a need you have.
We're on the island of misfit toys.
Example, to help sell a product in the era of the internet, Dewey brought back animation from a TV Christmas special that first appeared in 1964.
The reason we used the Misfit toys is because the commercial was going to run in November and December. The holiday season is coming up.
You're going to fit right in here.
Takes time to get that old-fashioned taste and homemade texture.
Of course, advertising has long known the power of nostalgia. Consider this famous campaign that ran in the 1970s and 80s.
The classic example of nostalgia is the man from Pepperidge Farm. It's literally an old person in a wagon, and all he talked about was how things used to be and how things used to be made. Cannot get more nostalgic than that.
Good home cooking deserves layer cake that's old-fashioned good, because Pepperidge Farm remembers.
But you might be surprised to learn that nostalgia, which is all about the past, has a notorious past of its own. For centuries, it was considered a disease and a form of depression. Soldiers feared it as homesickness and thought it could kill them. But Lemoyne College psychology professor Christine Batcho, who studies nostalgia, finds no signs of any deadly disease. In fact, quite the opposite.
It helps remind you who you are in reference to other people.
She sees one especially good use of nostalgia as a coping mechanism.
If right now everything is terrible and bleak, if you're out of work and you can't pay your mortgage and you've been evicted and you think there's nowhere for me to turn, it is actually healthy to look to the past and to say, what else have I survived before?
It's like in the movie A Christmas Carol.
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
The ghost reminds Scrooge of a time when he celebrated the holidays, a remembrance that he could again bring back into his life.
If I had the good life once, I can rebuild it again. And it does give people the energy to move forward.
But in It's a Wonderful Life,
why am I seeing all these strange things?
George Bailey learns another of the lessons of nostalgia when he sees what Bedford Falls would be had he never lived.
Get me back to my wife and kids! Let me live again.
It's called the George Bailey effect. Remember not what was, but imagine what might never have been. And envisioning a different path that life might have taken could actually help people, says research professor Sarah Aljo of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
And you go back through and say, now imagine you didn't go to that party. Imagine that you didn't meet this person that you were with or that you love. When people do this exercise, do they have a new appreciation for what they have now?
They have a new appreciation for what they have now, because they were able to kind of remove all the debris and see it for the clear, kind of with a clear set of eyes.
And it's not just what we see that leads us down memory lane.
At this neurological research center in Chicago, they're studying how nostalgia can be brought about by smells. Each of these vials, for instance, has an aroma harkening back to our childhood, like eggnog, very reminiscent of Christmas. They're learning that when it comes to good memories, we can be led around by our noses.
I'm looking for specifically what part of the brain this smell is activating.
Neurologist Dr. Alan Hirsch studies how smell gets to the brain faster than sounds or sights. He demonstrated on me.
And as the odor is introduced, we start to see changes in the front. So the quickest way to change somebody's mood state or behavior, quicker than with any other sensory modality, is with smell. You smell, and you immediately decide, I like it or I don't like it.
So it's got a direct path to the brain.
Exactly, and not only a direct path to the brain, a direct path to the emotional areas of the brain.
In fact, Dr. Hirsch discovered that a nose for nostalgia can be a lot about geography.
So if you grew up on the East Coast, the smell of flowers made people nostalgic for their childhood. In the South, it was a smell of fresh air. In the Midwest, it was a smell of farm animals. And on the West Coast, it was a smell of meat cooking or meat barbecuing.
And when something does bring back memories, they are more likely to focus on people than, say, items like childhood toys, says Professor Batcho.
It's the things that people are most nostalgic for in their growing up years were simple things like having dinner with grandma or going on a fishing trip with dad or going camping as a family. Even if it's just getting together to have a simple meal, getting together to pray, or whatever those experiences are that bring a family closer to one another.
As for the children of today, ad executive George Dewey says, you can be certain there are things in pop culture that will likely bring back memories of the first decade of the 21st century.
Well, one of the big ones is this kind of celebrity paparazzi phase that's going on. The explosion of shows like TMZ, Us Weekly.
Toss in the rise of Google and the internet, and you could just have the nostalgia of the future.
So the stars of today are likely to be the nostalgia of 10 or 20 years from now.
Who knows, maybe we'll remember Paris Hilton fondly one day.
That would be a trick.
That would be a trick, far beyond my means.